Hello there, David here. Welcome to the channel and welcome back if you're a subscriber or if you visited the channel before. First of all, happy 2023. I wish you the best, especially in the health departments. And let's jump into the video immediately. Let's go. All right, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about four different protocols that can be used to treat and eventually heal from ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, or some other inflammatory bowel disease condition. I'm making this video because even though in a moment you would know what protocol I used to heal from ulcerative colitis after 17 years of having the condition and no treatment per se heal me 100%, I knew based on the comments, based on questions, that not everyone can use the same protocol. Let's jump into the first protocol. First protocol is Chinese traditional medicine or traditional medicine from China. This was the first protocol that I tried separate from the traditional, well, I would say modern, not traditional, but modern Western, American medicine. I would say it could have been probably 3-4 years after I got diagnosed when I needed to look for some options because I was getting tired of just taking medications all the time. So I went to this traditional Chinese doctor and he did some diagnosis and said, yeah, your upper body is great, your lower body is great, but your middle part of your body is not good, which I knew already. I just got the confirmation that my gut, my middle section was the problem. What was the treatment? The treatment was some preparation of different Chinese traditional herbs that I had to take, prepare tea and take about 2 or 3 times a day, right? And this would be combined with some sort of not super strict diet, but elimination of some foods, especially red meat, alcohol, obviously, and dairy products, right? Those were the main things that I remember were taken away or eliminated from my diet. What was the result? I did see some great results after about, immediately, but what I saw after 6 months or so, it plateaued. I did get to kind of have a better sleep. I feel more relaxed, a bit rested. My digestion improved to some degree, but immediately when I tried to lower the dose of medications, then the bleeding, the symptoms just flared up. So it wasn't a full remission. It was just like containing to some degree the symptoms. So after about a year, just slightly over a year, I thought that there was really no additional improvement that I could, have. And the initial goal, which was to get into full remission and be eventually able to stop the medication, did not happen. That goal was not accomplished. The other additional help or tool that was to be used was to sleep more. I feel like I slept a bit better, but not to the degree of, in addition with the diet and the teas, my sleep didn't improve to a degree that would contribute, to heal me completely. So I decided again about a year and a month or 2 that I couldn't really keep going through that treatment because it had plateaued and it had its limits. So that was protocol number 1. Protocol number 2, that I would say it's either be 100% vegan or vegetarian, right? That treatment I didn't approach it till I would say about 3 or 4 years after that Chinese medicine, traditional medicine. So, and again, it's just going 100% vegan or vegetarian. For this protocol, I did see some improvements in the inflammation department. Very quick story, I still run, but not as much as in the past. and long distance. I'm talking about running long distance. So I did see a great decrease on inflammation on my feet, skin. I used to get blisters a lot. I think it was one of the side effects of the condition of the ulcerative colitis. So I did see a decrease in that. That was the main thing that I saw after being vegan / vegetarian for about 4 or 5 months, maybe close to 6 months. But at the same time, same as before, as soon as I tried to cut down on the medication, I would see the symptoms coming back, bleeding being the main thing, and then from there, the rest, diarrhea and so forth. So I thought, okay, it's good, eating a lot of vegetables, plant-based diet is great, but it did not accomplish the goal for me, which was to heal from ulcerative colitis. But that was the second protocol. But I still recommend to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. It's super healthy. It just didn't accomplish my initial goal of healing from ulcerative colitis. Now the third protocol, which I never tried, but I was very, very close to try it when I was, kind of living the Chinese medicine protocol and getting some results, but not healing. And this one, I'm going to look at the name because it's something I didn't try, and I'm going to take you guys into my computer second just to mention some additional info. But it's the FMT. So FMT stands for fecal microbiota transplantation. All right, guys, so here's the couple of references that I'm going to be using. They're both from pubmed.gov, pubmed.gov. And I came up to this just by searching for fecal transplantation for ulcerative colitis, or fecal, you can search also fecal transplantation for Crohn's disease. I think you'll get eventually here. Or you can just go to the website and then use the keywords here, and it should take you to this reference. So real quick, again, this is not meant to be super in-depth, but just have a basic reference. As far as the background or the studies made, fecal microbiota transplantation, also known as FMT, it's a treatment aiming to restore dysbiosis. I'll explain in a second what dysbiosis is, by transferring stool from a healthy donor into the patient, and has cure rates up to 90%. All right, and then it explains the Clostridium difficile or specific type of diarrhea, okay, which is part of the symptoms when you have a well-established or strong symptoms of ulcerative colitis. And going to the definition of dysbiosis, so think of dysbiosis basically as an imbalance between the types of organisms present in a person's natural microflora, or think of your bacteria in your gut. And it's thought to contribute to a range of conditions of ill health. And it has been established by some studies that in the case of the Crohn's disease, and I can add ulcerative colitis, they found a link between this imbalance of the good versus bad bacteria as a causing reason of Crohn's or ulcerative colitis. And this first reference, they had 4 different studies. It's called RCTs, or randomized controlled trials. And the core of the results were that the people actually getting the transplantation of the fecal microbiota had a 24 to 44% improvement, okay, or actually achieving clinical remission, versus a 5 to 20% of patients in control groups, meaning patients that just follow the standard, medications to treat the ulcerative colitis. And they conclude that the FMT, or again, fecal microbiota transplantation, seems to be a promising and safe therapy in the management of ulcerative colitis, but they also agree that further research with larger cohorts, meaning with larger groups, will be needed to confirm this and to determine the optimal procedure. Okay, now this study or this reference is from 2019, so it's not super new, but it's not old, you know, it's just like 3 years old, give or take. So this is a standard ulcerative colitis. Think of established but not, you know, super strong symptoms altogether. And a second study that I use a reference, same website, they determined that the fecal microbiota transplantation does not induce remission in patients with chronic active ulcerative colitis. Okay, so in other words, if you have some remission but are not completely free of symptoms, then this treatment may be useful, but not if you have a full set of symptoms going on, you know, bleeding, diarrhea, intolerance to a lot of foods. So just be aware of that, and probably use other kind of symptoms to get you to some level of control, and then this could be used as a treatment for get full remission as a long-term treatment, not in the early stages. And the last, fourth protocol, and the one that eventually I healed my ulcerative colitis, you know, following this protocol, is the cabbage juice protocol. High dosages of organic cabbage juice, high dosage meaning 32 ounces of organic cabbage juice per day. I split it up in 2 halves. In the morning I would take or took, you know, because this is about a year and a month ago, November of 2021, I would drink 16 ounces of organic cabbage juice in the morning, you know, fasting without any food. And then the second 16 ounces I would take it at night before dinner. And I did that for a week, okay? And in addition to the cabbage juice protocol, I took some multivitamins, multi-mineral, and probiotics. So some supplements help with healing. And up to this day, right, you can visit my channel, you would see beginning of last year, beginning of 2022, about a month and change, close to 2 months after healing, I did have a minor flare-up, which I was able to heal from following a healthy diet, I would say, by, you know, lowering or stopping red meat, anything that was hard to digest, you know, dry nuts, peanuts, and so forth. So those are the 4 protocols that you have the option to follow. And I'll be happy to read your comments and respond primarily through other videos. I do respond most of the time to your personal comments, but I prefer, or that's my goal moving forward, to answer the questions via my own videos. Hope you find this useful. Thanks for the support, for the additional subscribers, and I would see you guys in the next video.